Hi, I'm General Booty. I'm the quarterback at the University of Oklahoma, and you are now tuned into the greatest podcast on turf. Enjoy.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of the greatest podcast on turf. I'm Anthony.
I'm Ryan.
Today we are back. We got our NFL Divisional round playoff predictions / best bets / player props to look for. Last week, we were hot. We had a very good weekend last week. I know for myself, I think I predicted 4 out of 6 games right. Although, I guess could say 5-0 because technically, or 4-1. I don't know how it worked because I didn't pick the Eagles game. The only other one I lost straight pick 'em was Dallas. I know our bets were pretty good. I know the player props that we talked about hit for the most part. There's a couple of them that didn't, but for the most part, we had a very good week last week, and I know I finished up a couple hunch. So
Dallas got me. The Rams obviously didn't win, but they covered.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong on the Browns. I thought the Browns would have won.
Not me.
I didn't do so hot, but he did good. And we're gonna bounce. I'm gonna bounce back this week. He's gonna stay on that track. The first game that we are going to be looking at is the Baltimore Ravens at home against the Houston Texans on Saturday, 4:30. The Ravens are 9.5 point favorites. That seems like a pretty big number. However, if I had to choose, I don't think I would bet this game necessarily. But if I was going to rock with one, I would rock with Baltimore. Depending on the weather, it's Thursday. Wait, what's the weather looking like? Do you know?
Saturday in Baltimore. Let's see. Again, Thursday, January 18th at 5:20 p.m. is when we're recording this. So it's subject to change, but Baltimore, Maryland, Saturday, you're looking at a high of 24 degrees.
So
Partly cloudy with a high of 24.
Gonna be some snow on the ground after the snow, but nothing crazy, nothing really going to impact the game too much. It's going to be cold though. I'm not sure how Houston's going to respond in cold. They play in a dome.
Mm-hmm.
They were home teams against Cleveland, so CJ, I got Baltimore in this one. If I had to take a bet in this game, it would be Baltimore covering the 10. I know that it's a lot. However, I just think they get to CJ Stroud. And I feel like things kind of go back to normal this week with a couple teams. And the Texans are a team that I feel like comes back down to earth into being, yes, they are a really good football team, but no, they're not ready yet.
I agree with that to an extent. I feel like, obviously I see what you're saying with, they're going to get back to CJ Stroud. It's a kind of a get back game for Stroud, though. His rookie first career game, the Ravens kind of did a number on him. So it's a get-back game for him. Again, depending on the weather, if it's just cold, the Ravens are going to try and run the fuck out of the football. And the Texans, they don't give a shit, and they're still going to try and throw the ball around the yard. The over-under 43.5 is kind of enticing to me. Buy it down a little bit. I think around 40, 41 is kind of a sweet spot for that over-under. Again, I'm staying away from the spread because, again, as Ryan said, there's a world where I see Baltimore blowing them out, but there's a world where Houston is just going to kind of break the stigma and they're that good. That's kind of how I look at it. Some player props I do like, though. I'm liking Dalton Schultz under 34.5 yards. If that goes any higher, slam the under. Again, I've said it all season during our best bets and during our fantasy football stardom system. Against teams that are good against tight ends with good linebackers and good safeties, Dalton Schultz is terrible. And the Ravens are among the best in the league against tight ends, and they've been all year.
The Texans also used multiple tight ends. Brevin Jordan had a 70-whatever-yard touchdown last week. So they're going to get him the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I'm also liking Lamar Jackson over 52.5 rushing yards. Again, it's going to be cold. Lamar's going to get it done. The Ravens are going to come out. They're going to try not to come out a little sluggish, like we've seen them come off before after bye weeks and playoff byes in the past. And I like CJ Stroud over half an interception. That's kind of where I'm at just off of first glance again. I mean, Stroud passing attempts for Lamar Jackson, 28.5. I'm liking under that. Again, I'm just kind of looking at some of these lines, but those are the three that I like. Lamar over rushing yards, Stroud to throw a pick, and Dalton Schultz under 34.5 receiving yards. Those are the props standing out to me Thursday as we're recording this. Next up, you got the also 9.5 point underdog Green Bay Packers traveling, I wouldn't say cross country, but you could argue it, to go play the probably Super Bowl favorite San Francisco 49ers. Over under this game is 50.5 points. And again, as I already previously stated, the Niners are 9.5 point favorites. What are you liking, if anything?
It would be the Niners minus 9.5. I have Packers similar to the Texans. I feel like they're going to come back down to earth. And the Niners are a football team that is really, really, really good. They're coming off of a bye week, which is a great addition. They're at home, which is great. And the 49ers have just historically dominated the Packers in the playoffs. 2022 beat them. It was a close game, but beat them 13-10. Looks like snow.
It was also Aaron Rodgers. Just to throw it out there.
Beat them 37-20 in 2020. That was the Mostert game, I believe. 49ers 27-0 at halftime. They just absolutely destroyed them. And that was the floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The floor has good games and he also has his bad games. I think this is going to be one of his bad ones. I think the 49ers absolutely run over this team. Something the Cowboys should have done. That game made me lose respect for the Cowboys instead of gaining a bunch for the Packers. So I got the Niners in this one. I think they're the best team in the country, and I'm not sure anybody's going to slow them down.
Yeah, again, last week was a very, very big game for Green Bay and for Jordan Love and the franchise. And as we've stated before, we had this discussion the other night. It might have even been last night. When you have a really good game, you tend to start out slow the next. Now, that also applies to Madden Ultimate Team, in our case, but it also applies in the NFL. And I think that's where Green Bay's at. You got a fully healthy, fully well-rested San Francisco 49ers team. You got Green Bay that's, again, still a little banged up. They had some guys that weren't 100%, went out there and played. And, again, how you feel about the Texans is kind of how I feel about Green Bay. I don't think they're there yet. I don't think that they have it in them to go on the road and be road warriors and beat arguably the best team in football in the 49ers. I like the Niners. I think the Niners can very well easily cover that 9.5 point spread. If I had to make the bet, that's the bet I'm taking, besides the 49ers money line, obviously. The over-under 50.5, that's high, just because I don't know how many points Green Bay is going to score on this defense, to be honest. I would probably take the under 50.5 if I did. I don't love it. I probably wouldn't take it, but if I was, I'd lean more toward the under. And some prop bets I like. I'm liking Aaron Jones over 16.5 receiving yards. Brock Purdy over 1.5 touchdowns. And then there was one more. And then Jordan Love. No, that wasn't it. Where the hell was it? It was Brandon Ayuk over 4.5 receptions was the other one. Sorry, it took me a minute to find it. Those are the prop bets I'm liking from this game. I'm going to keep picking a few in there that catch my eye that I like and that I'll probably be tailing. But that's how I'm feeling. Next up, Sunday, January 21st, Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 6.5 point favorites. The over-under is 49 points. And when these two teams played earlier in the season and Detroit wasn't even healthy, they won 23-6, I think.
This is the mid-game of the week, I would argue. Out of all these games, these two teams are probably the worst.
I saw some, it's like the quarterbacks. Somebody was like, if you told somebody at the beginning of the season that Jordan Love is his first year as a starter, Mr. Irrelevant, Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff will be playing for a Super Bowl this year,
Yeah, the tickets are $1,200, and somebody say you're paying $1,200 to see Baker Mayfield versus Jared Goff. And I mean, it's true.
In theory, if they had played each other in college, could have been.
Huh?
You got to think. They were two of their respected quarterbacks in college. Oklahoma probably a dogged cow, but I'm just saying.
Thanks.
Could have been.
So yeah, Lions, Bucks. I'll tell you who I'm rooting for.
Baker.
Bucks. But
Yup.
I'm not sure they're... Honestly, I don't like the Lions. I don't know how great they are. I still don't believe in them. And it looks like they're going to get to the NFC Championship. And if they do, I think they get absolutely routed by the Niners.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be a somewhat close game. If I had to take one, it would be the Lions minus 6.5. But I feel like... Shit. Honestly, I'm not betting this game. I feel like Tampa can lose by 3. That wouldn't surprise me. I'm staying away from this one. I feel like Tampa could lose by 3, and Tampa could also lose by 20. And neither would surprise me. It's all about what Baker's going to do. And, I mean, they're playing in a dome, so they do have that going for them. You know, they were at home the first game, so weather wasn't a problem. Now they're going to a dome, so weather, isn't going to be a problem again unless they turn the AC on.
Did you see the reporter asked Todd Bowles, was like, what are you guys doing to prepare for the weather in Detroit this weekend? It's really cold out there. Like, the reporter asked him that in the interview, and he, got up all close to the mic, and he was like, Detroit's been playing in the dome for over 50 years. We're preparing how we normally would to go play in Detroit.
So, that's the good thing about Detroit. They're playing in a dome, so Tampa don't really have to worry about that. I feel like Tampa loses by 3. That's kind of what I would do.
Yeah, I like the Bucks plus 6.5 in this. Again, I don't think Detroit's that good, if I'm being honest.
They're not.
Granted,
So not.
Tampa's not either.
It's true.
But it's like the Detroit Cinderella story, it's only going to go for so long. I mean, let's be honest here. They barely squeezed by the Rams last week. Rams arguably should have won that game. The Rams should have won that game. Detroit's offense did nothing in the second half, and their defense somehow just showed up after Puka went for 200.
This team isn't that good.
I know. I
got routed by the Bears.
Yeah, I know. I like the Bucks plus 6.5 in this one. I like Baker over 250 passing yards. I feel like he's going to be able to throw the ball around here. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. We didn't see him run the ball much in Philly. Rashad White, I know, got a little banged up toward the end of the game, and that doesn't help their case. Because Chase Edmonds ain't going to go into Detroit and rush for 100. I promise you that. So I like Baker over 250 passing yards. I took it last week, and it didn't hit, but he's so due. Amon-Ra anytime touchdown. Took it last week, and it hurt me. And the final one that I like...
Is it Cade Otton? Dude, bought out.
Cade Otton over 3.5 receptions. Cade Otton over 3.5 receptions. I mean, we saw Tyler Higbee and the young kid. I picked him up in the Dynasty League. Brandon Allen, I think his name is, something like that.
I think so.
We saw him go off. And then... Where the frick is it? Hold on. I promise you, here it is. Then I like Jahmyr Gibbs receptions. That was it. Sorry. Couldn't find it. Jahmyr Gibbs receptions. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to keep these running backs involved. There's a couple props for each game. I'm also liking... Okay, that's it. Bucks plus 6.5 and those player props. The over-under 49, kind of like the over 2.
Final game this week.
Probably
best game of the week. It's the Buffalo Bills at home against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right
we got
now,
a lot of drama between these two teams in past playoffs.
The weather is showing a high of 18. So about similar conditions that they're both used to, similar to how it's going to be in Baltimore.
They're both fine in that situation.
Yep.
This is just Chiefs versus Bills playoffs, and we've seen some crazy stories out of this.
Kadarius Toney.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's going to be another one.
Oh, no doubt.
I know who I'm rocking with.
Me too.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Nope.
I got them going to the Super Bowl and probably winning it.
Normally that's your go-to, and I always go against it, and I'm always wrong. But again, like I said about Detroit's Cinderella run, something about yours has to end. I'm rocking Buffalo. I picked them to go I said the winner of I said at the beginning of the season.
What, the winner of the Bills and Steelers game?
I said at the beginning of the season, I said in the Super Bowl, Dallas was playing the winner of Cincinnati and Buffalo's AFC Championship to play in the Super Bowl. So I'm still rocking with Buffalo again, and that's not me putting or giving or discrediting Kansas City at all. This is a very winnable game for Kansas City. That's not me. That's not anything against Kansas City. I just think Buffalo wins. I picked them at the start of the season, and I picked them now. We saw Josh Allen last week kind of just be a game manager and not try and do his Carson Wentz impression, trying to do too much and throwing dumbass interceptions and making bad reads. We kind of just saw him out there. They got the run game going early, let the offense flow through the run game, and let Josh Allen just game manage. And I think that when Buffalo does that, I think that's when they're at their best. They have one of the best O-lines in football this year, Buffalo does. And granted, this is the best defense Mahomes has ever had. But, again, I think Buffalo's got it. I like Buffalo -3. I like Buffalo money line.
I feel like Josh Allen might be just in the Pat Mahomes shadow for a while, for a large majority of his career. And I feel like that's going to continue. I feel like we're looking at a big brother, little brother situation.
Something tells me we could get a Diggs-Legere Snead fight this weekend. That would be pretty cool.
Snead's a baller.
Did you see him press Tyreek Hill at the line? Yeah.
He said he's jamming
the Cancun. That was pretty good.
I got Kansas City in this one. I believe in that team. I feel like it's Kansas City and the Niners in the bowl. That's what I'm rocking with. I feel like that's what I've said. So.
And again, I mean,
also said Cowboys in the NFC Championship, but
I'm not taking any player props here. I didn't for the Chiefs game last week, and I did. The only one I took for the Bills last week was Najee over carries, and that hurt me. Just because this game's either going to be a Kansas City Buffalo Bills, it's going to be a shootout, or it's going to be a slugfest, and the defenses are just going to play. And that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I like Buffalo winning the game outright. I like Buffalo covering the 3-point spread. Even buy it up to 3.5.
I like Kansas City. Buffalo keeps getting hurt on the defensive side. Even happening against the Steelers.
Yeah, but Kyrie Elam, bro. He got a pick.
And Pat Mahomes, it's playoff time, so.
Listen, Josh Allen's got to beat these little brother allegations. This is the fucking year to do it, because
it's the worst the Chiefs have been, and they're still going to win the Super Bowl.
Literally. I mean, what a year for Baltimore to be good. It's like this is the worst we've seen Kansas City.
This was the best year to be good.
Yeah, I know.
This was the Cowboys' year.
It was.
It was such an easy path to the freaking NFC Championship, and they lose to the Packers.
I mean, what if they win that game? They're playing who?
The Lions.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. I guess it saved you, though, watching David Montgomery go for 100 yards and a couple tuds.
He would not have done that. Did he do that when we played? I don't think so.
I doubt it.
There's no way his ass did anything when we played.
That was the Jahmyr Gibbs game.
I don't think either of them did that good.
Something's got to give.
It's rushing. He had 14 carries for 65 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 15 carries for 43 yards.
Okay, so you guys gave up 100 yards and a touchdown.
On 30 carries.
So?
Jared Goff was 19
What's
for
30
34.
divided by 100?
3.3.
3 yards a carry, bro. With
Yeah.
a touchdown? I'll take 3 yards. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Just like Coach
That's what
used to
Tony
say.
Pollard had.
Is there anything else?
No.
So who's your Super Bowl prediction going into divisional weekend?
49ers Chiefs. Been rocking with it.
Tampa Buffalo. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.